Thank you for being here, by the way.
So happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
You've had an amazing journey.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, different groups of people know you from different things.
Yeah.
People know you from your cooking channel, Food Network show.
Yeah.
People know you from Sister. Okay. Wait, no. I gotta do it again. No, I gotta do it again. I was ready. Sister. Right?
Sister.
Was that you? Were you? Because you sang the theme song with your sister for seasons 5 and 6. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Wow, you know a lot.
I know how to use the internet, right? Okay. But this book started with a journey that began on Sister.
Yeah,
and talk a little bit about that.
Okay. You know, it's hard to open up, you know what I mean, and be honest, but I'm so happy that I am, because with that, I'm able to inspire and to help people. So, during Sister, I had developed a bad habit, which was I was taking diet pills. You know, while being on set, it was kind of like, what is it, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka, you know?
Yeah.
So they had candy just everywhere. Any kind of candy, you name it. And, you know, their jobs, the ADs or whatever, like, Tia, whatever you want, you know, have it. There were cookies and everything. So what happened was I just would eat, you know, the candy, and I was like, I don't have to work out, you know.
Right. How old were you at the time?
I would say I was probably like around 16 to maybe 18 when I was using diet pills. But my point is that I was working, going to school at the same time, didn't have time to go to the gym, and I was like, you know what, let me just eat whatever, you know, I wanted, and then I would, you know, take the diet pills so I didn't have to, you know, work out. But
and you noticed the change. You noticed a change on many levels.
Yes, I did. But anyway, like I said, I just kind of like developed this terrible habit. And as I got older, I of course stopped doing the diet pills.
Because you, if I may, you went to, after doing Sister, you went to college.
Yes.
You studied psychology.
I did.
Your favorite professor talked about how to break a bad habit.
Yeah.
Tell us what that was, because it's kind of meaningful and symbolic as much as it is effective.
Yes. So I was in college. My professor, Dr. Banks, we were talking about things that we kind of needed to work on, or things that were hindering us, and ways on how we can move past that. And for me, mine was diet pills. And what he told me to do was write on a piece of paper what your, you know, issue was. And I wrote diet pills, and he said to throw it in the fire. And that's exactly what I did. And once I did that, I had no longer taken a diet pill again.
You basically did cold turkey after that.
Cold turkey. I was done. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore.
Did you crash?
Huh?
Did you crash from that? Like, I mean, like it's a stimulant probably, I'm guessing. And so,
I mean,
your heart was racing, you said.
Yeah, I did.
In the book.
Yeah, I mean, when you take diet pills, you're like,
Right.
But anyway, my point is, I ended up developing like a bad habit, and when you go ahead, I'm sorry. What?
No. I want to hear what you're saying.
You said crashed, right?
Oh yeah. Well, did your energy just crash after that?
Yeah.
Was it easy to quit cold turkey? Because so many people think, well, if it's not easy for me, does that mean it's just not?
Well, it was
meant to
easy.
be,
What happened was, it was easy for me to quit the diet pills, because I said I wasn't going to do that anymore. But what wasn't easy quitting cold turkey was bad eating habits.
Right.
Right.
Because that was the bigger problem that led to the diet pills.
It was.
So you were still eating poorly all of this time?
Yes, I was, but I had a wake-up call.
Okay.
And what that wake-up call was, I ended up going to the doctor, and my doctor, she told me that I had something called endometriosis. And that is a highly inflammatory disease. And I had 2 surgeries because of it. And she said, you know, Tia, if you want to no longer have surgeries, and if you want to, because it's an infertility, it can cause infertility, because my endometriosis, it affected my uterus. She said, if you want to have another child, or not another child, if you want to have a child, you are going to have to change your diet.
So that was the moment where you're like, okay, now I'm going to jumpstart actually healthy eating.
Yes. And she said, you're going to have to get rid of dairy and processed sugar.
Which
So
that's a lot. I love my sugar. Like
Yeah.
we as a culture, we as a nation, we as a
Yes.
world love sugar. That's hard to drop.
yeah, but for me, I mean, here I am. I want to say, I was around 24, 25 when I was diagnosed.
Right.
What young girl doesn't want to have a child
Right.
and
You love that
get
more than
married?
sugar, right?
Yeah. So I was like, okay, you know what, Tia? Something's going to have to change if you want to have a child and if you no longer want to have these surgeries. But not only that, for those of you who don't know endometriosis, it's miserable. The cramps during your menstrual, it's intense. It's terrible. You're in constant pain. So when I heard that food could be medicine for me, and my symptoms, can subside, and I can potentially have a child, I was like, I'm done. I'm done with the junk food. So.
And that drove you to say, I'm going to share this knowledge with others in a
Yes.
delicious way.
Yeah.
Because the other message is it doesn't have to be horrible. Like you think about dropping meat or dropping dairy or dropping sugar, and you think,
Yeah.
oh my God, I'm going to be like one of those people who
Yeah.
looks miserable all the time because
No.
but there's a chickpea.
Yeah, burger,
in
yeah.
here.
Well, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Right? That's your favorite in the book.
It is. It's definitely my favorite. And kind of like you said, there's this stigma about healthy food or
Right.
just healthier choices that it's disgusting and it's not good. But
Right.
you guys, that's wrong.
Right.
It's completely wrong. And one thing that's great about this book, I encourage and show other people how you can make fried chicken. With instead of using dairy,
Right.
buttermilk.
What do you dip it in? What do you dip it in?
I dip it in unsweetened cashew milk.
Oh, see, now that's
So
pretty good.
it's
The
still nice and
nuttiness of-
creamy,
yeah.
and it's still, there
Yeah.
are great alternatives where you can make excellent food using excellent ingredients that's good for you.
What is the one food that's good for you that you just love? Like you can't
Yeah.
get enough of, and then what's the food that's good for you that you just really, let's be honest, I'll be honest, I'm trying to get on board with the kale thing. I had a
yeah.
kale Caesar today, and I'm like, it's okay.
yeah.
But do you have one that you're just like, I'm not gonna lie, this is not delicious to me?
Okay, the one food that I absolutely love that's just incredible and delicious is coconut milk.
Yeah.
Coconut
agreed.
milk is a great substitution for, dairy.
Right.
It's sweet, it's creamy. You can make ice cream out of it, smoothies.
Make a pina colada, by the way, with
Yes.
coconut milk, and you cut down the fat in
Yes.
half.
Yeah.
And it tastes just as good as a regular pina colada.
Right.
Because a lot of times you get a pina colada resort, and you take a sip, and you're like, nah, because it's really thick and sugary. You know what I mean, though? And it's actually too much.
No, yeah. So
Did your body adjust to craving? Because we always talk about your
Yeah.
body tells you what you need. You know that whole saying, like your body is
Yeah.
telling when you crave something, you want it, which I think is kind of BS. Because I want I'm craving a chocolate bar. My
Yeah.
body must need chocolate.
Well, you're craving it because, okay, number one,
That's not real, but what does your body tell you?
what does my body tell
Is
me?
it real?
I'll
Do
tell
you believe that?
Yes, I do. Let me tell you. Okay, so if you're constantly eating sugar, right, and just processed foods, sugar is a drug. Look it up.
It is. Yeah, it really
Google
is.
Sugar really, really is a drug, right?
Yeah.
Now, when I detoxed from sugar for 2 weeks, it was like as if I was detoxing from
Right.
a bad habit, But then after 2 to 3 weeks had subsided, I started to feel amazing.
Right.
I became alive. I was no longer fatigued. I had more focus.
Yeah.
So, and then I started to eat, the vegetables, whole foods, which is like vegetables, whole grains, seeds, and fruits. And then my body started to crave
Want that, right.
and want that.
So I'm basically addicted to the drug. To the drug that is
Yeah.
sugar. It just
Yeah.
doesn't have a street name.
No, yeah, I mean,
should have a
and we
street name.
we all are. You know what I mean?
This is a classic Hollywood case of you're in front of a camera, you're in front of the world
Yeah.
as this. I will say, I remember you and
Yeah.
thinking, What a wholesome couple girls. Did you?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you weren't.
Yeah.
But you were regular people.
Yeah.
Being kind of put into this position of having to be, like it or not,
Yeah.
a role model or kind of seem perfect to everyone out there.
Yeah.
How did you feel knowing that you were doing this at the time? Did you feel a little bit like, oh, I kind of feel bad I'm doing this?
What,
or did
you mean
feel
with
like
the
this
diet
is
pills
yeah.
and stuff
or
like
did you
that?
feel like this is just part of the business?
No.
What did you feel
well,
at the time?
you know what I felt?
What?
When I was taking the diet pills, it was of the norm.
Like that was what
I
everyone
mean,
did, right?
Everybody was, everybody was doing it. All of the, actors were doing
Right.
it. My circle was doing it.
Where did you get that? I don't want you to name names. Was
No,
it just
yeah.
out of a drugstore, or did you have
It
to go to
was.
a doctor?
It was. Do you guys remember the? It was like Fen-Phen
Yeah.
or something
Oh,
like
yeah.
that.
And that was since
yeah.
been banned.
Yeah. So since has
banned.
been
Has
been
it
banned.
been
Yes.
banned? Yeah.
So it was just something that I would just get off.
Right.
Off the counter.
Right. Yeah, you
at
could get it
the
at
pharmacy.
any
Or
store.
something like
Yeah.
that, or.
Which is another signal that it's okay. If you can just walk into a store,
yeah.
then why not, right?
But I remember my chest was starting to, hurt.
Like, yeah, your
And
heart
then
was racing.
my heart was racing, and I had like loads of energy. And I remember I told my mom about it.
Yeah.
And then that's when she told me, I was like, Mom, something's going on. Like
Right.
my chest hurts. And then she told me, Tia, this isn't good for you. You should not be doing this.
And your mom has been there for you through all of your career, really. She was
Yeah,
your manager
she
when you were in a
was.
girl group, right? Girl group
Yeah.
called Voices, right?
Oh, gosh.
When's the last time you sang in front of people? I'm just curious, like,
When was the last time I sang in front of people?
I don't have a karaoke machine ready, but I was just
Oh,
wondering,
my
like, do you still
gosh.
sing? Do you and your sister still sing? Like when you
I
get
love
together?
to sing. I love to sing in the shower. I love to sing at home.
I like to sing in the car.
You love to sing in the car?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you bust into song,
Okay.
what do you break into?
Oh, gosh.
What's your go-to?
What is it? Who runs the world? Girls.
Yeah.
Who runs the world? Girls.
Good.
Yeah, I love Beyonce. Yeah.
now, let's-
So anything Beyonce, I'm like
Let's get a few
singing.
twin questions
Oh,
out of the way.
gosh.
I
Okay.
know. Okay, first of all, what's the most... when people see you, do they sing? Sister, sister.
All the
do
time.
They, yeah, it's like... so that's...
Or you know what it is?
What?
They ask me to say, "Go home, Roger."
So are you going to say it? Like, is that...
Yeah.
Okay.
Go home, Roger. Yeah.
Okay, now twin questions. What's the
Okay.
most cliche twin question?
Oh.
Do you feel pain when your sister stubs her toe?
That's very cliche,
Right.
but they always say like if I'm seeing you, and I'm like, hey, what's up? They're like, where's your sister? And it's like,
like,
what?
I
It's
don't
not
know.
like she's like hanging out in my back pocket. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
yeah.
she has a life too. She
Right.
has like kids and
Right.
a husband, a family. Like she's doing her own thing. They just automatically assume that you're like.
Right.
Like
you,
always, like
constantly
next to
on
each other.
Messenger with each other.
Or yeah, you know what else they do? They say, hey, what's up, Tia Mowry?
Oh, that's
They
nice.
put both of our names like together. It's like Tia Tamira. I'm like, come on, really? My name is
It's
Tia,
like,
and her
just
name.
try a little.
Yeah.
Just try a little.
But anyway, it's fun.
Okay,
it's all
so now let's ask the cliche question. Have you ever felt pain that your sister felt?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay, so then it's like a valid question.
Wait, yeah, but you know what? It's not like physical
Right,
pain.
right. You
It's
just felt
more
like
of like
My spidey senses are tingling.
Yeah, like if my sister, there was this one time in particular, we were in 2 different states, and my sister, she was kind of going through something emotionally, but she hadn't told me, but I felt it. I had called her, and I said, yo, like, Tamira, is everything okay? Are you fine? Because I feel it. And then, of course, yeah, something was wrong. And then also we can't, like when she was pregnant and when I was pregnant, I knew before she even told me. And
Really?
yeah, and vice versa, she knew too. We have that.
How far apart were your pregnancies?
Oh gosh, my son is almost 6, and Tamara's son is 4.
Okay.
So there you go. There you have it.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't ever be. I don't think we should. Why are we snort shaming, by the way? Like, what's wrong with a good snort? Once
You
in a
know
while?
what? When I snort, I'm having a good time.
Right,
Let's just say
exactly.
that.
Okay. What would you say if there was one recipe? I mentioned the chickpea burger. If there's one recipe that people should, like, they're starting it out, they get this book and they're like, okay, I'm going to give this a shot. What's the recipe they should try to be like, oh, I'm in, if there's one?
That's a really, really good question. Well, first, I'm going to start off easy because I want it to be,
Simple,
practical
right.
and simple. So I would say my chocolate smoothie.
Okay.
I have a chocolate smoothie, and in it is coconut milk and chocolate coconut ice cream with frozen bananas, It's delicious. And then I top it off with some coconut shavings. And you
How
just,
bad can this be?
Right,
really?
and you
Right.
throw all of the ingredients in a blender. You just push the button.
Right.
You know, everything blends and voila, you have a really nice, creamy, delicious, healthy chocolate banana smoothie.
Right. So you did a cooking show.
Yeah.
And you've done scripted television.
Yeah.
Which is harder and why?
Ooh, that's a good question. You know, I would say doing a cooking show.
Why?
Because,
Really?
okay, when you are an actor, right, you have to memorize lines. Okay, I've been doing that ever since I was like, 12.
Right.
And so you just have to stand in front of a camera or whatever and recite your lines. With a cooking show, there's no script. So basically, you're just, at a table or not a table, but, at the stove in the kitchen, and you're cooking.
And you're usually by yourself,
and
right?
you're by yourself. Yeah, there's
Right.
nobody there with you. You're by yourself, and they're just like, okay, go.
Yeah.
Go ahead and action. And so you just kind of have to talk,
Right.
and then you have to cook at the same time.
Right.
So it's like, what is it? Patting your
head and rubbing your stomach, yeah.
Yeah, belly at the same time.
And then you have to eat it and be like, to nobody,
Well,
basically.
that's the hard part. It's like trying to not eat everything too, because
Right.
I mean, it's the best. I will say this: having a cooking show is the best job in the whole entire world because you get to eat everything.
Right.
Yeah, so.
But then simultaneously,
Yeah.
you've had your struggles with food. So does that then make it
Yeah.
harder because of that?
No.
But you're cooking good things and
Yeah,
healthy things, though, too.
Not at all. No.
Now, this is just like a little bit of a tangent, but did
Okay.
you see when someone leaked the Disney Channel promos where you're
I
doing
did.
and you guys were the best? Did you notice that? Like, do you know what I'm talking about? So they leaked the Disney Channel promos. They're like, you're watching Disney Channel. And some people were like, what am I talking about? Like,
Yeah.
some of them were a little weak.
No,
you know
yeah.
what I'm talking about? One girl's like, you're watching Disney Channel. But you guys nailed it every time.
Hey, we
I think
come
you tweeted
correct.
it, didn't you?
Yes.
You
we
came
come-
what?
We come correct.
You did come
Yeah.
correct. But I thought to myself, like, I really did have to say when I watched it, and I watched every single one. And one person I was like, this girl looks tired. Like, she looked like she'd had a long
Oh,
day. You know the one I
yeah.
mean. And then that you nailed it, though. And I thought,
Yeah.
you guys have been doing this
For so long,
since you
yeah.
can remember. And there's something about it.
Yeah.
I talked to Whoopi Goldberg once, and she was
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
I know when to sparkle. Like, and it's that moment
yeah.
in this thing where
Oh,
you guys
yeah.
did it too. You'd be like,
Oh yeah.
like at just the right moment. I can't do it, but you know when
You're
to do
so
it.
funny.
And Whoopi was talking about that. So
Yeah.
do you think that was part of your DNA before you even got into it, or did you learn it along the way?
I would
See,
say
there was actually like a point A and point B. I got there. Okay.
I would say it was definitely a part of our DNA.
Yeah.
At a young age, I've always wanted to entertain and
Yeah.
to make people smile and just to make people laugh, make people, just feel good and forget about, what's going on out there and just be present
Yeah.
and just have a great time. And at a young age, I was dancing, I
Right.
was singing, I was modeling. I'm talking about
Yeah.
like practicing
You
dancing.
did pageants. Didn't you do
I was
pageants?
just about
Let's
to say
talk
that.
about the pageants. We
I
have
was-
a few. I have to ask you about the pageants.
Okay, I was Miss Clean.
Miss
I was
what?
Miss Clean, which is Clean, Texas.
Oh, okay. I thought it was
Miss
like clean, like a word for most clean.
No,
I didn't
that's
even-
how we say it in Texas.
Oh, okay.
Clean.
Because I hosted a beauty pageant once.
Oh,
and
really?
I went in wondering how I was going to feel about it, and I
Oh.
ended up thinking these women were some of the most intelligent, articulate people
It
I've
was
ever met.
our training ground.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, because you'd have to get up there and talk, and
Right.
we would dance and we would model, and it's a
one of the few-
competition.
and it's one of the few competitions where having a sex tape, you don't win. Like, you don't get, like, you know what I mean? Like, now, like,
Yeah,
this-
no
it's
sex
actually
tapes
pretty
here.
wholesome. But you were in Texas. Is it true that you both convinced your mother to
Yeah.
get you to Hollywood to pursue show business? And how old
Yes.
were you when you convinced her? And how did you manage to do that
Yeah.
successfully?
Okay, so like you said, we were in pageants, and at a young age.
How old were you in pageant? You were
uh,
already on TV at like,
Well, I was at TV. I was on TV Sister 14.
right. So
I
you were
started,
doing like tween pageants?
Yeah, I
kind of?
would say I was probably like around 12, like
Were you
11,
doing the
12.
bouncy walk pageants? Because there's like a point where you do that. You know the ones I'm talking about? And then there are the ones where you kind of walk like a grown-up. And you know the difference, right?
I do. Would you like for me to show you?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
So we would have to. I can't believe I'm doing this.
I
by the
can't
way.
believe you wouldn't do
Jeez,
this,
I've
frankly.
never done this for anybody.
Only on AOL Build, people.
So where's the camera here, right?
Okay.
So we would have to, walk like this. right?
That's good.
Then we'd have to just turn around.
Right.
And then I would always go like this and wink at the judges. And then turn around just like that. And then that was it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah,
Let's hear it
it's
for
not
the
like,
pageant walk.
I always had to be myself, you know
Because
what I
there
mean?
is that pageant walk when they're super young where they're like,
Oh, yeah, it's like
you
over
know the one
top.
I mean. That's like, that's a little toddler in tiaras,
but,
right?
Yeah, but you know what I will say, though? I am, because, sometimes
Toddlers and tiaras.
Toddlers and tiaras.
Right.
Sometimes I feel like, kids who are in pageants, they get a bad rap.
Yeah, I agree, having met the
I mean, I've been in several of them, but I will say, like I said, they were my training ground.
Right. It's poised.
It is.
It's confidence.
It's confidence, but not only that, it is a competition. And at the end of the day, this world is very competitive. So it teaches you at a young age, you know what I mean? You got to do what you got to do.
You also learn that you are not always going to win, because the hardest part
that's
about
true.
hosting it is it's a series of events where you tell a group of people batches at a time that they did not win, and the audience does not enjoy that process any more than they do.
Exactly.
It's hard. So Halle Berry was, I think, a runner. She did not win.
Yeah,
she was like a Miss America runner-up, because
Yeah.
she didn't win, Halle Berry.
Yeah, so I have nothing negative to say about pageants. So.
Yeah, and so we want to get back to the book, and we have some questions from the audience.
Sure.
Sorry, but I applaud you and thank you so much for being such a good sport.
No problem.
Oh, we got one here, and then we'll go over here.
Okay, awesome.
Hey Tia, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you.
I'm wondering, being in the kitchen, is there like 3 ingredients that you would, want in your kitchen?
Yeah, or that I feel like I need. Oh, jeez, I only can say 3.
Rattle them off as fast as you can. Go for it.
Number 1, I would have to say olive oil. So olive oil, I mean, you need it, right, to cook with it. And I think that it's a great, healthy oil, as opposed to like canola oil or like vegetable oil, right? So olive oil is really good. Another ingredient is garlic. I love cooking with garlic. It always adds, loads of flavor to anything. Let's see.
What about a cook's tool? Is there any cook's tool that you just wouldn't want to be without?
Wait, say that again. A
cook's tool.
Like a cooking tool?
Yeah.
I would say, I got to name one more ingredient.
Yeah.
I would say, let's see, maybe onions. Onions. I cook a lot with garlic and onions, and it's kind of like the staple of any dish. So yeah, tool, I would have to say food processor. The food processor is extremely versatile. So you can make smoothies with it, you can make sauces with it. So I think that's something that's really kind of something that you need, in the kitchen is a food processor. And
Great.
it works like a blender too, So.
Great, and we have another one over here, right?
Sure.
Hi, I'm wondering what your advice is for breakfast foods, because I feel like
Breakfast
that's
foods?
the hardest healthy meal because you're in a hurry and.
It's a good question. One of my favorite. I mean, I like to let me just tell you this: when you're cooking with fresh ingredients, cooking is fast and easy. So a perfect example could be like an omelet. An omelet is, fast and easy to make. That's just with eggs, and you can put vegetables, whatever kind of vegetable you want. Also, the pancakes that I make are super easy, and it's in the book, and it's gluten-free. I make it with eggs and banana. That is it. That's all you need to create a nice, pancake. So cooking with fresh foods or fresh ingredients, you're not like in the kitchen for a long time. You know what I mean? So for breakfast, that would be the pancakes that I just said and like omelets. Those are really quick and easy. Good question. Yeah.
And we have time for one more right
One
here.
more. Hi.
Tia.
You're so adorable.
Oh, thanks.
I love your hair.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I was wondering, how important do you think it is to develop like good eating habits in kids, and do you think it's okay to kind of let them eat whatever they want and when they're little?
That's a very, very good question. I think it's important to start with your kids early and introducing them to good habits, because kids only know what you put in front of them. So at a young age, my son, I had him eating, vegetables, spinach, broccoli. He was also eating miso soup. You know what miso soup is? That's what
Yeah,
and it's so good for you. So, now he's 6. And I introduced those foods when he was extremely young. The miso soup was like around 3 years old. And at almost 6 years old now, he's continuing to eat healthy choices. Now, of course, he's a child. You know
What
what
does
I mean?
he love and
So-
what does he reject of the healthy foods?
Let's see. I mean,
Does he like spinach?
he loves
Really?
spinach.
Does he like
yes.
broccoli?
He loves broccoli.
Brussels
You know what I
sprouts?
do? You know what I do? I'm a little sneaky with it. So, say for instance with spinach, I will throw them in a smoothie with strawberries and bananas. And guess what? He doesn't
it right
even
up. Yeah, he
know
doesn't
that
know.
they're even there.
So it's covert
Or-
spinach.
Yes, and then with my turkey meatballs, I'll also throw in some spinach in there. But not only that, like carrots. Carrots was the one thing that he didn't enjoy for the first time, right? So what I said was, hey, come cook with me in the kitchen and let's make a project out of this, like a school project. You know what I mean? And he saw how we would make carrot juice. He would see how the carrot would turn into a juice consistency. Or when I would roast the carrots, he was a part of the process. And when kids are a part of the process, they want to try it and they tend to enjoy it more. So that's how I helped my son enjoy, healthy food. But at the same time, he's a kid. I'm not going to deprive him of, having a cookie on a weekend.
Does he ever get sugary cereals? I'm just curious.
No.
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 Oh,
no.
God, that would have been hard for
No.
me. How can people follow you on social and find out more about the book?
Okay, so you can check me out on all of my social platforms, Tia Mowry on Twitter, Tia Mowry on Instagram, and Tia Mowry on Facebook.
That's convenient. See, it's smart. When those things come out, you just register that name
Yeah,
right away.
just the same
Do
one
it.
for all of them.
Right.
And then you can get the cookbook at any bookstore and online.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tia Mowry, thank you so
oh my
much.
Gosh, thank you.